Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. Still updating you about what happened to Ike Ekweremadu, the former Deputy Senate President of Nigeria. Don't forget that on the 21st of this month in London, the Metropolis police arrested him alongside his wife. And his crime was that he brought in a child to harvest organs and all of that. But we're going to give you more details of what has transpired. Now, the latest is that he has been denied bail. He and his wife, both of them have been denied bail, and the case has been shifted to the 7th of July 2022, which means he will have to be in the custody of the UK prison. Maybe don't know what he's going to be facing there, but it's quite a sad one here. Now, let's just look at the updates about the whole issue.
All right, let's start with how this whole thing began. Ekeremadu's daughter really needed a kidney.
Okay,
The,
which means she was sick, maybe possibly kidney failure.
yeah, possibly. But then he has about 4 kids.
Okay,
But this particular one, the daughter needed kidney transplant. So he actually brought in a 15-year-old homeless boy with illegally obtained passport stating the boy was actually 21.
whoa,
Now, the boy was promised a better life. The former deputy Senate president had actually been denied bail. Now, when that happened, according to sources, they said as at the point of trying to do the needful, the doctor, doctors will have to get full details
of the child.
and when he now released the information of how old the child was, and that was where the bubble busted.
Okay,
Then, according to news, they said when they realized that it was not going to be possible, and out of desperation for their daughter who needed urgent transplant, they were on their way to
Castro.
to Turkey, and the police, because of those info, were able to now get him arrested.
Okay. Now, another thing is that he was actually arrested in Castro with 20,000 US dollar, and actually the purpose was to purchase another kidney from a Turkish donor. And when the initial plan failed, the plan was to get a transplant using that homeless boy. I mean, this is really shocking. How our people think they wanted to make use of the boy. Now, when that particular plan got messed up, he now went for a Turkish donor. But my big question is, why didn't he go for the Turkish donor? Decided to take a child of 15 years, and frame up the whole thing that he's 21 and all of that.
It's a case of plan B. Okay, the plan A failed, and don't really blame him. I think it's a case of desperation of a father's love.
Yeah.
Seeing that the daughter was actually giving up, doesn't have much life. Don't forget that there's actually processes of getting this, but the long wait is not always very easy. So since there's money, he has the money.
Okay.
It said to do the necessary purchase. That didn't work. It now decided to go do the needful. Like someone here said, look, transplant organs are not easy to come by, especially for patients who need such transplant as quickly as possible in order to live. Sometimes the wait is so long because of the less supply and more demand, hence the desperation. So if you actually get one, you're lucky. Now you now see why you had to do all those processes of the line, that the child, the boy child. What is going on trending right now that it's a girl child. No, it's actually a boy child.
Yeah.
But the person who they are trying to give the kidney to, Ekeremadu's child, is actually a girl, a daughter, his daughter. But the person they brought illegally, it's a boy, a 15 years old boy, whom they later, got a passport showing that he was 21 years old.
Okay.
That's where the whole problem all began. And the funny thing about it all is the fact that when they caught up with him at the airport, the nearest magistrate court, very close to the airport there, was where they tried him.
Okay, now there's another concern right now on which for most Nigeria, they are more interested in that, and it has to do with the issue of migration to London. That with this kind of issue, Boris Johnson, who is the Prime Minister, may likely tighten up things for Nigeria using Ike Ekweremadu's case, as a case study. Most people believe that that will be used as a strong point, and using that as a strong point will go an extra mile to denying Nigerians, the right of possibly studying in UK, because with all of this, most people, the UK government may feel so uncomfortable with Nigeria, because the first thing they'll be thinking, who is this guy? It's a highly
Yeah,
reputable guy,
a senator
a
for that
senator for that
matter.
matter.
Oh
For him
God.
to do this, it
That
means
means the
that
common Nigerian maybe even be
it was
worse.
exactly
And I perceive that their laws, there'll be more stringent policies now
policies,
against
exactly,
Nigeria,
exactly.
especially those who probably are studying abroad or planning to study abroad. And this does not speak well, judging the fact that a lot of Nigerians like to jackpot, quote and
Yes,
unquote.
exactly.
This is really bad, I must say.
But I also think that Ike Ekweremadu would have gone with a matured person, because most Nigerians, if you give them that level of promise they gave to that homeless boy, that they are going to give you a better life, I can assure you that most Nigerians would trade it. They wouldn't even mind, because they with the situation on ground here, things are not even okay. So if you said you're going to take me to United States or take me to UK, give me a better life, possibly set me up and just make use of one of my kingdom, most people will give in to it. That's
Oh,
why I'm uncomfortable with the fact that he had to go for a homeless boy, which means if he passes on in the process of
it's collateral damage.
damage, exactly.
But what caught my attention is, why did the boy change his mind by last minute?
Minutes, yeah.
Because he's changing his mind had to make Ekeremadu to think of a plan B, and very urgently too.
Now, and guess what? Changing that in his mind, I think based on the report we've heard thus far, he had to, escape from the hospital and finally found himself in the police station where all this whole issue now kick-started. I feel that the doctor may have sit the boy, you know, sat him down and give him what may possibly happen at the end of the day. That this thing you are embarking on, did they tell you the consequences of it and all of
Usually
that?
they would always,
Exactly.
give you a prep talk
A prep talk
to
about it,
prep you
yeah.
up so that what's your take. I hope you were not cajoled and all that.
Exactly.
And probably at the point where the child understood what he's about to go through, he bolted. No, this is
Exactly.
not what I wanted. I
Yes,
thought I wanted a
exactly.
better life. No one
Exactly.
really gave me insight on how dangerous or how good. But then saying homeless, let me quickly say this: saying homeless is really funny. Why not get an adult? Someone who's
Exactly.
about 21 and above, who understands the dynamics. 15 years old but homeless. How did you pick him on the street? These are what we're talking about. We have so many. See the challenge we have about poverty in Nigeria. It's easier to pick one homeless child on the street and say, I'm the senator, and it's crazy, really. But now, with the way things are, he may still remain. Well, although he has pleaded not guilty.
Yeah, he did not
He has pleaded
guilty.
not guilty.
So is that a case between him and the boy right now?
But his defense counsel are really coming up tight.
And
All right.
the next, the other stuff we heard about it was that he refused to talk. He didn't make any statement in court. All what he did was to identify himself
Yeah.
that he was Ekweremadu, and the wife did same. I think
The kids.
everything revolves around
Yeah.
the uh,
The kids now had to come in solidarity, and even the children refuse also to talk.
okay.
It's quite shameful,
But
really.
there's something about Nigerians, especially street boys. Street boys are not normal human beings. Finding himself fly into UK and possibly may have been talked to by somebody. Said, when you get there, be smart, boy. Yeah, here we are smart. Be smart. So immediately you get there, if you see that the scenario is not okay, and if you see anybody who can collaborate with you, boy, jackpot immediately meet a police, and so that your name can start trending. Young Nigerians, you
Uh,
can't really trust us. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
yes, you're right. But I always believe in agreement. If he knows he wouldn't do it, why did he agree?
Wow.
Because that's another thing. But then where he goes, where I believe Ekwemadu, he's not yet convicted. Okay,
Yeah.
he's not yet convicted. But I believe where he got it wrong was getting an underage.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's where the problem is. That's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much. Please go to our comment section. What's your position on